The sooner I start, the sooner I finish, so I'll just as soon start. I'm Lory Selby. I'm the Director of Assessment and Accreditation for the Education Division here at GSEP and do adjunct work for the Social Entrepreneurship and Change class. And putting this together, I was thinking, how would I add some of these really fun things to program evaluation, which is basically kind of boring and essential, but can be boring. So I titled this in my documents, what I learned in the Prof Dev course, but I thought I'd be a little more professional in my presentation. So let's get to it. 3 things I learned. I'm going to start with the fact that this has been an amazing journey. I knew that I didn't know a lot about technology, but I was comfortable with the idea and willing to experiment with some of it. I also knew that there was a lot to learn, and I was really intimidated by how I was going to get all of that done, especially after looking at the syllabus and the assignments and then taking off to deal with real life that gets in the way of going to school. So it's been a journey. And the first thing I picked up is from Linda Poland's presentation about structure. She said, when you're setting up your forums, separate out the questions that they have, she called it moaning and whining, from the academic content. But actually, there are going to be logistical questions. So that was, I immediately started saying, how can I incorporate this into my things for next term? And that's very cool for me. And you can tell I am very structured. Flip teaching was, I've done that out of expediency, but not out of intentional planning. So I really appreciated the underpinnings for why you would do it and how you can make that a richer experience for them. And then when we got to some of the other tools, I thought, oh, this is going to be fun. The more fun it can be for us doing the teaching, the more engaged I think our students are. So I'm all about making it as positive as possible. And visual energy. I just have to admit, I've sent this to colleagues today because we're working on a tough project. But I saw this picture, I just started laughing. I said, okay, if it's going to make me laugh, that's going to break any tension, and that's going to make an impact. The things that we say only go so far. If we can bring a picture to it, that's even better. This may even show up at a faculty meeting, just because it's so good. Then I went with the two new technologies for me. Things that I've heard about but never ever played with before, and I am just starting to dabble in one of them. The first is TED-Ed. And I just have to try. You said that you can't click on the link, but when I practiced with this earlier, where did my mouse?
Oh, in your PowerPoint.
Oh, just not in Illuminate.
Oh, nothing works in Illuminate. Okay. So I found this, the beauty of data visualization. And I'm just clicking on it because this guy does this entire presentation on what data can tell you and how to get visual things that will speak to you about it. And he's a Brit, and it's fairly interesting, but it would really resonate with my candidates because they're trying to figure out how they're going to present all this data that they've collected in their program evaluation that they've done for some nonprofit. And they've done this volunteer basis, which is what needs to happen in nonprofits. So they have this opportunity to see some examples of things that they can do to make the information a little more palatable and a little more interesting and definitely more expressive if these companies are going to take that information and apply it to funding and going for grants and things like that. Okay. The other one is Camtasia. I've just started playing with Camtasia. Oh my gosh, it's fun. If you haven't, I had not even heard of it until I had an issue that I needed something like this. And I went and talked to Rami, who is our local guy, and he said, just got the latest version of Camtasia. So he did a little sample for me, and we talked about it. You can record your PowerPoint. You can start with your face showing. You can record yourself first. You're introducing yourself and speaking to the people. Then you click to your PowerPoint and you're doing the voiceover conversation. And we have the need for this now that we've gone with all of our programs being online, or when they do meet face-to-face, the same courses all at the same time. And I do a presentation for our teacher performance event, the PACT event, for all of our teaching students that has to be pretty detailed. It takes about an hour. And we tried doing this with a video conference at the beginning of this term. That was a grand adventure. We've got split screens of 2 groups. I'm talking to another group, and just it worked, but it's not optimum. I like to see people's eyes, and I want them to be able to see me up close rather than being all the way back across the room. So it was. This has been really a fun one to start playing with, and I'm hoping by my fall term I've got everything worked out for that. And I had to finish with my conclusions. Fireworks was all I could think of. And I went looking for a picture. Now this is a little bit dark, but you've actually got this very dark mountain range in the background. And I thought, okay, looking up from where I started in this journey to where I've come, just in the things that I've learned and been able to share and be able to articulate to other people and incorporate in my classes, I would only say it has lit up what I'm doing on the online pieces, and it's fabulous. I don't have other recommendations except that it was hard for me to breathe keeping up with the stuff, but I appreciated the fact that you had very clear detail about what you expected and that it was easy to find. It was just a matter of finding the time to fit it in, and that all worked. So thank you, all of you, for what you've done, and thank you for being part of my journey.